Hello friends, welcome back to Tech Refresh. This is Sarah. So today I'm here with another video, requirement analysis in software development lifecycle. As I already discussed in the last video, the software development lifecycle or SDLC includes 6 different phases. The first phase is a requirement gathering and analysis phase, and the second one design phase, the third one development or coding phase, and then comes the testing phase, and the next one installation or deployment phase, and the last phase the maintenance phase. So let's look into more details of requirements gathering and analysis phase. In requirements gathering and analysis phase, what we are actually doing is we are actually collecting the requirements, or we are actually gathering the requirements, and we are analyzing each of the requirements. And in this requirements gathering phase, there are mainly two steps. One is the preliminary investigation, and the second one is the determination of system requirements. And in the preliminary investigation, there are 3 steps. The first one, request clarification, and second one, the feasibility study, that is a feasibility study of technical, economical or operational issues, and the third one, request approval. In requirements gathering and analysis phase, after the preliminary investigation step, the next step comes is the determination of system requirements. In determination of system requirements, the detailed understanding of all important aspects of the business area under investigation are carefully studied. And the analyst must study the business process to answer some of the key questions like what is being done, how is it being done, how frequently does it occur, how great is the volume of transactions, how well is the task being performed, does a problem exist, and if a problem exists, what is the impact of the problem and what is the underlying cause of it. So these key questions has to be answered by the analyst. Now let's look into the activities in requirements determination. And these activities include requirements anticipation, requirements investigation, and requirements specification. Also, the business analyst has to understand the basic requirements, like what is the basic business process, what data are used or produced during that process, what are the limits imposed by time and volume of work, what performance controls are used. For example, think about a scenario like there is a shop which is selling its products, and now they want to make their business online. So they need a website, and they are approaching this business team to make a website. So what we are actually doing at this time, this business analyst has to study like what is their exact requirement, what type of website they require, and what is the content in it, and also like what type of data they are expecting in the website, like customer registration and customer details, also like the stock of the product. So this kind of data needs to be stored in system. So the analyst has to study all aspects of the scenario or the business requirements, and also the performance requirements also he needs to think about. So these kind of questions needs to be answered by the business analyst during the requirements determination process. Now let's look at the gap analysis in business process. Gap analysis involves determining, documenting and improving the difference between business requirements and current capabilities. Think about a software development company, software product development company. For example, a banking software product, and their clients would be different banks across the globe. So this particular software development product development company has one particular software product, and they need to sell the same banking software product to different banks across the globe. So are they delivering the same product directly to the banks? No, it's not. So what they are actually doing is, as per the client requirement, they need to customize the same product for the different customers. So here comes the gap analysis. Because they have an existing product, so whenever there is a new requirement from different clients, they have to study this gap, they have to analyze what is the gap in the existing product. So how can I deliver the same product, or how can I deliver the product to this particular client? What is the gap in the existing product? So they need to think about those kind of things, and they need to deliver the product after making the client specific changes. So this is the gap analysis. One of the most commonly used requirement analysis method is structured analysis. So let's discuss about the structured analysis development method. It actually focuses on specifying what the system or application is required to do. It doesn't state how the requirements should be accomplished or how the application should be implemented. Rather, it allows the individuals to see logical elements apart from the physical components it uses. Elements of this structured analysis includes graphic symbols, data flow diagrams, and centralized data dictionary. Data flow diagrams can be physical data flow diagrams or logical data flow diagrams. In physical data flow diagrams, the physical characteristics are shown, like the names of people, form and document names, names of departments, equipment and devices used, locations, etc. And in logical data flow diagrams, the flow of data between processes without regard to physical characteristics are shown. We use two approaches to draw data flow diagrams. The first approach is Gain and Sarson, and the second one is Jordan. Gain and Sarson approach, DFT symbols are shown in this picture, like entity, process, control processes, data store, event store, etc. This is the DFT symbols using Jordan approach. Here is one sample DFT diagram using Gain and Sarson approach. So this is the DFT diagram for a new customer registration processing website. So here the entity is a new customer and the processes are number 1 and number 2 in the diagram. You can see in the diagram. So customer registration is the first process and validation of user ID and password is the second process, and the database or for the data storage, which is shown at the rightmost side of the picture. Then the entity new customer has to give the details like first name, second name, last name, user ID and password to the customer registration process, and for the customer registration process, these are the inputs. And for the validation of user ID and password, the input is user ID and password, which is from the first customer registration process. So during the validation of user ID and password, that process actually checks whether the user ID which the new user is creating exists in the existing system. So it has to take the data user ID from the database. That is shown using the left arrow, user ID from database. Then once this validation is over, the data will be, if it is a successful creation of the new customer, then that particular appropriate message that user is successfully created in the system, that appropriate message will be sent to the new customer entity. That is send user ID and password validation message. If it is an error, then also that message will be passed to the new customer. And if it is a successful validation, then the data has to be stored in the database. That is shown using the store data arrow. You can see to the database storage. So this is a sample DFT diagram. Hope you liked the video. Stay tuned for more informative videos from Tech Refresh. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.